Hmm. Okay, we'll wait for everybody to come in. So happy to be with you this morning. You can hear I'm still a little bit congested and have a cough drop on board, but my energy's back. I'm back. And that was interesting. It felt very much like um, everything on the physical was clearing out after a big, after my retreat and all of that work. It was like everything was just doing a big clearing and a reset, I guess, in harmony with the coming of the solstice. So happy solstice, everybody. Yeah. And here we are today to celebrate. So that's all good. Everybody looks good. So glad to be with you. Let's meditate. Okay, so take your attention inside. And the real change that has happened for me recently internally is, and I encourage everybody to cultivate this experience. It's falling in love with the divinity that's already there within us, so that our experience of meditation is being with that part of ourselves that we love the most, that loves us back. And, I've heard over and over from teachers that I respect that it's the feeling that we bring to meditation that actually does all the work. It's that love with our own cultivation of divinity that takes us where we want to go. So, breathing into that feeling and allowing it to expand in the space below our belly button. And as we cultivate that feeling, there's a certain warmth that comes. Hmm. And we can even imagine yellow like the sun in this space below the belly button. And as that space opens and fills us, our energy will naturally move up to the solar plexus. And if there's some tightness in the solar plexus, it has something to do with some drama or trauma that likely is unrelated to this moment, but may be limiting our experience of our own energy in this center, in this moment. And we can feel for the gratitude that we're alive, we're here, able to do this work, able to breathe and bring our breath with our attention to work inside ourselves. What a great gift this is. And we're so fortunate to have everything we need in this moment to thrive. And we can be at peace in this center, even if there's tightness there. Offering safe haven to any experiences that are willing to release in this moment. And then feeling into our heart center. Into whatever genuine positive feeling we can find in ourselves. Authenticity is totally important. And opening into that heart space. And when you're ready, allow your attention to rise to the throat center. And then when you're ready, as the energy continues upward, feel through the roof of your mouth into the third eye, which is behind and between the eyebrows, but way back in our heads. And feel into that energy center. And then the top of the head. So when you're ready, holding to this feeling, this connection to divinity, gently allow your eyes to open. And be two places at once. So happy to be with you today. How may we serve?
Hi.
Hi, so happy to see you.
It's so good to be here and to see you. Yeah, it's been an interesting couple of weeks heading into the solstice. Um, my energy tends to really want to hibernate. I have a really strong desire to hibernate. And at the same time, there's this new moon energy, this kind of um I don't know, just motivation, and they're kind of fighting with each other, those energies. So I wonder if you could address that.
Yeah, there's a kind of agitation, like the birthing of something that we're feeling in this moment. That something new is definitely uh I think new is the word, something different is happening. Don't exactly have language for it beyond that. And we agree it's it's um it's active, this energy.
Y-
But also the hibernation from here feels like allowing the time and space for this new energy to coalesce and and sort of assert whatever change it's making for us before we run away with it or allow it to run us away from the the integration of it too soon.
And at the same time, um, I don't want to bury that energy,
Oh no.
right?
No, but it's like a gift. It sort of has the properties of, an egg that contains its own nourishment. And if we uh let it gestate, that it will um inform us at some later date of, what it's about. Our experience is that activating ourselves with these new energies too soon can um, keep them from coming to fruition in a way that if we are patient, we can allow to fortify a deep change. within us, even though we don't know what that change is about. Does that make sense?
It really does. Yeah, because there's the sense of really wanting to just know something, it's not a really strong grasping. It's just like, can we articulate this a little more, or can but I guess not, I guess sometimes it just has to be um blank.
Well, giving it time and space is giving yourself time and space to allow it to inform you. Like, it's good. You can feel it's good. There's nothing about you that doubts the quality of this experience. And it has some direction in it, but you don't know what that is yet. And sometimes not knowing is the part of the gift itself. And we're so lucky in a way to have the time and space to be contemplative with it, to not have to run off and burn it up in our daily life before it gets to become what it has the potential to become. And I think this has been another, a slightly profound message at this time, personally, that it's no longer about creating in the external world. That sometimes that external expression can be siphoning off the energy that we could be using for our deeper spiritual connection. And this is coming from somebody whose whole life has been about creating in the outside world and interacting. And it's not that there's not time and energy for that too, but that's no longer primary.
Mm.
And, each of us needs to feel into these energies and be conscious about our choices, because different things are appropriate at different times.
Yeah, for me, well, I stopped teaching at the pandemic, at the shutdown, because I had to give up my rental studio, and then dancing through the pandemic was really difficult. And then I had a hip replacement, and then I fell off a ladder, and all kinds of things happened, and I have spent a lot of time alone, a lot more time. I used to be in the restaurant business, which kind of forced me into being with people in a way. I'm an
Mhm,
introvert. I'm definitely an introvert. Um, so it was good to have that way to be in with people. But I've spent a lot of time alone since the pandemic. So that's 5 years now.
mhm.
And but the people and the things that I do have are really wonderful. I feel really blessed with the few things that, are people and activities, and this that we do is really means a lot, and it's kind of nice to be sparse that way, but I also feel a pull to, I don't know, do something or contribute somehow, or more, in the material world.
Well, it's a very, very interesting time because there's so much potential for change in our environment. And and we were about to make this big change of not having an MD anymore. And that all came back on itself during the retreat. It was like, this is not a good time to make that choice, because what it came down to is that the magic of why Rebecca has always had a successful medical practice. mm, I don't understand that magic. And it does feel like magic that that attracts people to me. And the message was, this isn't the time to rock that boat. There are too many people that can still be helped, even though there's this deep, deep direction to be internally focused. That doesn't require non-participation. And that is the thing that really became very clear, that being inwardly focused is a choice that doesn't exclude relationships. It requires consciousness. And it's a very interesting thing that all of us are dealing with as we age. We have less energy to spend in the physical world. And so we need to be honest about that. And at the same time, it's as you say, we want to participate in ways that really make this experience better for everyone. And at this moment in our culture, there's endless opportunity. None of it has anything but moral and cultural payback and the gratitude of the people that we serve. But, just seeing the effectiveness of people with whistles against ice in Chicago and, the creativity of people in Portland and how beautiful that has been to watch and vicariously participate in. So we can support any of that in whatever ways we can. But it requires real introspection to see what our capacity is and where to spend that. And our experience with anything that we've done in that direction is that the other people doing it are unbelievably wonderful. And so it's made connections that are valuable. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. I think that the simple step of maybe, getting involved with one of the, like you said, there's so many ways to get involved, and it's like it kind of stymies me. It's like what I don't know. I don't know how to choose a way to be involved that doesn't just take my energy away from my own process. Mm.
I know people who do all kinds of things. I have some people I'm connected to who teach quilting in the women's prisons, and they find it extremely gratifying. They have this whole process where women in prison learn to make a quilt, and they're part of this quilting organization until they make their third one. Their third one they get to take with them when they're released. And so they have this completed quilt that the first two they learn on, and then the third one um, is an accomplishment. And so there are all kinds of simple ways I think that is probably from the time the person that leaves home to the time they get back is probably a 3-hour commitment once a week. And yes, it takes energy, but it also it it gives structure, it gives social support, it gives the feeling of participation and and uh creativity, and giving someone who never had the calm in their environment to be able to learn even the barest of domestic skills, you know and that's just one example of. So there are many things that people are doing out there that I would never dream of, that are amazing for them and for the people they're serving. There's lots of stuff in the hospital environment, um, advocacy things that, but they take a lot of energy.
My troop used to pretty regularly go to hospital environments. Um, in particular, there was, I don't know what it's called, but it was it it's part of Providence, and it's for children with really debilitating um diseases and situations. And we used to go and dance
Mm-hmm.
for them, and it was such a wonderful experience. It gave back so much more than, you know,
Mm-hmm.
than
Mm-hmm.
could be imagined. Yeah. Yeah, and senior centers and things like that. It's probably, one of my best memories of having a dance troupe and being able to dance for people, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I started young. When I was 7, I used to go and read the newspaper to a blind woman down the street
Mm,
who lost her sight, as an elderly person.
mhm,
And we both enjoyed that tremendously.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Me as a 7-year-old trying to figure out what the New York Times was really saying. And she enjoyed helping me understand what I was reading.
Wow. That's such a great
Isn't
synergy.
that amazing? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Those kinds of things. So there's a place, and I guess if you have that um thought or you know inclination, something will come.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, reading to kids with cancer, I'm sure that's a
Mhm.
there's there's stuff. But it all does take energy too.
Right.
And but you can always wear a mask going into any of these environments. I I have another friend who goes into the public schools and helps with reading once a week for an hour. It's just a way to participate.
Mm, mm. Yeah. That- that's great to talk about that and realize that there are possibilities out there, and it doesn't mean I have to you know roust myself out of my hibernation mode. Just um just have that planted in there uh as a thought, and see where it goes. But you're right, it does take energy.
It
And
does take energy, but sometimes the energy that it takes and the energy that it gives back are, they're in such different realms that it's hard to believe how much something like that gives back.
yeah, but the initial um energy, I mean, unless it just comes to you,
Mhm.
somebody calls you up and says, hey, you want to do that, you want to come to
Right.
these
Yeah.
schools and
Yeah.
read. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that initial spark, I don't know where that comes from, inside or outside.
Well, the truth is both. And it's our experience that if you set the intention to attract something, that that will happen. You don't really need to do much more than that. because intention has so much power. We listened to a 60 Minutes talk last night given by this man named Peter Attia, who's written a book about um, maximizing the quality of our lives in the 90s and how to do that, from 90 years old on. And it's a really interesting book. I mean, he's an interesting person. He originally went to Stanford Medical School and was training to be a surgeon. And of course, his training as a resident was as a cancer surgeon. And uh, he had so much experience with people dying that he just burned out completely before he even got through the training. And he went and became, some kind of businessman for a number of decades. And then he realized that his own health, in his 40s, that he was preparing himself to live until his 70s, and that was the way everybody and the health system itself was sort of organized, and that to make a change and help people live, make a longer health span would require intervening early, like where he was in his 40s, to maximize the quality of his life at the end. And so he started studying what it is that creates health. And really he came down to exercise being the most important thing that people could do. And really that's his main thing is having people exercise like crazy. And they live longer and higher quality. And diet makes some difference, dietary choices, but it's not as important as exercise. That was very interesting to see. Um, but he only has 75 patients, and they pay around $100,000 to work with him. And a lot of it is physical training and endless testing. And I'm sure they all take tons of supplements and things too. But I found that all very interesting. And it does make sense because, the medical system that we have is entirely reactive and it's disease centered. It's not about health and it's not about health span at all. It's about, disease. And so he's right that it takes a different model to concentrate on health. And of course, he's found a way to maximize his income as he does it also.
He found a good spot.
Yes, the niche.
Yeah.
And I think he's in his 50s now. So
Well,
it'll be
Dick Van
interesting.
Dyke just turns 100.
Yes, isn't that amazing?
I love it.
The power of the power of humor.
Yes. Yes. And humor. And he always was, active.
Hmm.
There was a clip on, part it's it's been shown on various formats, but there was a clip of him at a home with people probably younger than him, but he's just dancing around the room, he's
Right. Well,
amazing.
he's always done slapstick, which is really, I mean, that requires a lot of physical energy.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. And what an
Amazing.
attitude, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And dancing's always been big for him too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. It's amazing.
Yes. Yes. He's a good person to emulate.
Yes. Yeah. Good morning, Nancy. It's looked like you've been ready to burst with something to say this morning. Mm,
Oh, you're good at reading that.
mm. How are you?
Uh, I'm doing pretty good. I'm sure glad to be here. Um, just taking in what you're saying about sort of this gestation, letting things um, steep in and have their own time, so that give it a proper time to allow something to be noticed. Um, Golly, I've been going through kind of a difficult spell, but
Mm.
it's been good. With my therapy, we're trying to dive in a little deep with what has affected my health through the years, situations that have been a little bit locked up. Um, and so it's been actually, feels like there's been a lot of heavy Mars kind of energy running through me until just I felt a little shift this morning, which was nice. But I believe this conversation is so helpful for me because and I'm not going to go into it too much. I'm recalling a situation when before I had that fundopulation, that stomach surgery, and I went in to get a little device installed, a Bravo device in measures acid into your stomach, and it's a device he puts through your throat and into your stomach, and you wear a harness. But anyway, part that was I had kind of tucked it away and didn't really ever speak about it, but he misaligned inserting this in my throat. He got this device caught in my throat, and it had never happened to him before, but he got it jammed in a fold in my throat. And I came out of that uh, in in recovery room and realized there was just this obstacle jammed in my throat. And I was left for most all the day without anyone coming to console me or tell me. I knew something was caught in my throat, but what was going on at all. And hours, like 6, 7 hours, and in a hospital bedroom, and I had heard later in the day the doctor was going to talk with me like at 5 in late afternoon. And anyway, there's all kinds of things that just kind of went wrong. And and so the therapist, because I've got a pretty good scar in my throat, wanted me to listen to this, what's going on with the scar in your throat, let it speak. Well, I just had so much anger come up, but it felt like spells of time in the family home where I was just like abandoned. And so the idea, and that I didn't speak the truth. And it's just like, wow, this is kind of huge. And so the therapist says, what are you going to do about it? You know, of course, I have no interest in suing him, but what I want to do is let him know that was a pretty rough time. I hope no one else is like abandoned for hours with any kind of support. And so anyway, um, so it's kind of been a kind of a just a hard process to go through, and this brought up a fair amount of anger, I guess. Um, but listening to what you're saying, just allowing this gestation time to be with me, and um, but it was such a deep, it just reverberated in me of just this abandonment, and to address it. So I'm going to write a letter to him and just tell him my feelings about that, and hope that someone was, if that ever happens in any way, that to please pay attention to the patient and console them. And that was a very difficult process for me to go through with having this thing caught in my throat. And anyway, I'm so glad I'm with the class today, because I was kind of didn't quite know where to take it yet, because she just said, just be with your throat and let it speak to you. But oh my gosh, it's like rare. There's a lot,
Yeah.
a lot to feel and process. And but I totally delighted with just allow it to just be with me. And
Well, and you know, I'm all for writing that letter. I'm not sure that I would send it when you're in the heat of the anger.
no, I don't want to send it when I'm in the heat of anger. I don't want the letter to come from in the heat of anger either.
Well, I think it's fine to have the letter come from the heat of the anger so that you understand
Yeah,
your anger, so that you actually express your anger, feel your anger, go
right,
through the whole process
right,
of,
and get it
of
out on
really
paper.
truly allowing it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then what you do with it beyond that, you know, you'll know over time what is
right.
appropriate for you to
Yeah.
do.
There's no rush on this. We have gone through several situations where she suggests to write a letter and then I don't send it.
Yeah.
But so we've done that a few times. And I would like the letter to be in a very uh caring place about myself when I do it.
Yes. And you know, there are probably three or four letters because
Yes, I agree.
this same experience is about your childhood as
Yeah,
well. So it's a recurring experience.
right.
So it's a cumulative anger over
Yes.
and I think, you know, I think this is a very feminine experience that that especially, you know, women losing their voice and the power of their voice,
Yes.
powerful men who are afraid of being sued for making mistakes.
Right. Yeah.
And and you know, so there are a number of dimensions of this, one of which is our overwhelming willingness to forgive in these situations,
Yes.
which is sometimes appropriate and sometimes wildly inappropriate because we end up shooting ourselves in the foot.
I've
And
done a lot of that shooting.
yes.
Hence, not, I think it's a pattern with my health. So,
Well, you know, I think these are important conversations to have with ourselves because
yes.
they are such a reflection of the environment that we were raised in. and, the men who participated in that,
Hmm.
and the time at which we were children, women weren't treated well.
Yeah.
And little girls were, you know, not not supported.
Not listened to.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. And just
There-
behave and don't cause
Yes.
any
And
noise.
very dismissed.
Get out of my way.
Yes, I'm the important one here, and what's
Totally.
happening to you is of no consequence.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't deserve to have a voice. There's that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's take
So,
goodness all my
yeah,
life to just feel
yeah,
the
and
sense of the sweetness in myself. I mean, I've always felt that, but just feeling I always had to prove myself in so many ways.
or
So,
even there was no way to prove yourself.
right. It's like a empty circle, right?
Right. There was nothing that was going to be respectful enough or good enough or
Yeah,
male enough
right.
to be
I
rewarded.
I just worked hard in what I did for a living to earn a living having my own business. I kicked butt. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's what we do. We become independent and really strong.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
nobody can do that to us anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway,
yeah, I mean, you've come out of it very well, but
yeah.
I'm all for the therapy that you're doing. I think it's wonderful
Yeah.
and very healing for you.
It has been. Yeah. She does the with works with Jungian
Mm-hmm.
philosophy and a lot of dreams and symbolism and really subtle energies goes into that and has me feeling through things. So it's really good.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you for doing it.
Oh, thank you. Well, this
And
was such a great discussion. Thank you, Carol. I mean, really, this just spoke to me. Just I'm going to sit and just do the exercise she told me to do. It just started flaring up, but just to sit with the throat, and just to be in this, allow it to have its time in its voice. So it really spoke to me. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
You saw me climbing the trees. They're on my side. Oh my God, thank you. It's so
Mhm.
good to have you back and to
Well,
all
it's
be
good to be
together.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's so good to be with you.
yeah. Thank you.
Oh, so welcome. And I apologize for not being available.
Oh, well,
You
we all need our time. I mean, that you have to honor that.
know, well, it was very unexpected 2 weeks ago. I sat down about 15 minutes before we were going to start, and I took a deep breath and opened inside, and the message was, "You are way too tired to talk to anybody this morning. You got to cancel the program." And I was like, "Whoa, where did that come from?" Okay.
Well,
So
you said something that said that you shouldn't push through, and you generally push through, and that spoke to me. That pushing through has been my MO,
uh-huh.
and that really spoke. So just in
Oh,
that,
good.
just in that, really said a lot.
Yeah. Well, that was the message. It was this isn't a time to push through.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very, again, it's a tricky thing because there are times, and I think they're before the age of 65 when pushing through is really important because, before that time it's like what
Mm.
you're building strength and
Uh,
building and building. We're no longer in a stage of life where we're building.
yeah, right.
We are now, reflecting,
Yes.
growing internally, and really cultivating our inner experience of divinity so that when we leave this world, we are going to something, not away from something.
Ah, yes, I love you saying that.
Because this is the whole point of inner work, really, is to prepare ourselves in whatever way possible to have the most beautiful exit.
Yeah, it's quite the preparing too. I mean, it's definitely deserves some well-intentioned sweetness to find through this.
And it's even stronger than that. It's the understanding that it's the feeling, it's the cultivation of this love. And the understanding that loving God and loving self are not different.
Yeah,
And that, it's pouring into one and pouring into the other and pouring back and forth, and it's all one thing. There is no separation. And the language itself implies separation that doesn't exist. And so having our meditation build on that experience of, oh, effulgence is kind of the word that that's coming, just this a rich overflowing of love on itself that is both personal and impersonal, you know, and that the feeling is what is important, not anything else. There's no idea in it. There's just the experience of this very dynamic flow of open uh and the feeling isn't limited to uh, any particular definition.
right.
And that's what meditation is for, to cultivate
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And that the devotion itself is the practice.
Well, that's beautiful. Yes, really, really beautiful. Really helped me a lot. I appreciate it so much.
Mm, you're so
Well,
welcome.
this is how we all learn, you know.
Well, and back to your point, the reason to do all the clearing that you're doing right now, and what you're doing is intense clearing
Yeah.
of the it's like clearing all the dead wood from the past. That's what you're doing so that you are not held back in your release from this life.
Mm, yeah.
All this stuff could be the change that that force us into a repeat of this life.
Yeah, really.
But when we break all those
Heaven forbid.
chains,
No,
exactly. But when we break
it's
all
like
the chains
arg,
while we're here, then we're
make the
we're
best of it.
done.
Yeah. I've had a
We're
lot of the
free.
angst. I've had a lot of the angst. I've had a lot of fun, but it's cultivating the sweet sweetness in ourselves and in life. And I do see so much of that. My goodness. And I feel it when I look outside or when I'm outside and just see the leaves blowing on the trees. It's like I'm like, oh, it's there's words of poetry coming from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise there's no reason to go back over all
Yeah,
the angst
yeah.
except to release it. So we're done
Mhm.
with it. So
Right.
we don't have to come back and beat that guy up. We're done. We did it.
Yeah, let's get on to something else.
Well, let's get free. Let's get
Let's get
free of
free.
that anger.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just waiting to
Yes,
ambush us when we're trying to get out.
right. Well, that's just delightful.
Yeah.
That's just hitting the spot with me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Otherwise,
of
there's no
course.
reason to do it. Of
Right.
course, that's why we're doing it. We're
Yeah.
doing it because we're breaking the chains that are holding our feet to the
Yes.
earth.
And I don't want to rage on anybody. It's not who I want to be at all. And I'm just not, you know, I'm just not.
Well, yeah, you don't want to be the sum of the rage that you haven't digested.
Yes.
That's that's the only reason to do therapy.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Great to see you and
Oh,
have this conversation.
so
And
so good.
yeah, thank you. So
So
good
good.
indeed. Yeah.
And it feels so good to concentrate on the solstice, the changing of the seasons
Yeah.
and the so that I mean, certainly when I was a child, Christmas was about the panic of trying to give the right thing and the desire to get. It was like those two things
Of
fighting with each
course.
other. Yes. And and to take all that sort of out of the season
Yeah.
and have it be about appreciation
Yeah.
of the changing tide.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I actually canceled having Christmas at my house because I was just kind of a little overwrought. And I have never done that. I was like, oh, that was just a little hard. But
Well,
it was the great support from the rest of the family. Once they just kind of figured out that anyway, it was good, really good. I've been doing a lot of things that have kind
well,
of
it just sounds so wonderful that you are allowing yourself to be freed of all this stuff that,
yeah,
has
well,
been in
I'm
the
learning.
shadows.
I'm learning and I'm learning to be with the feelings and it's like which is crazy. But anyway, yes, I have been using my voice a lot and so yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Mm. I
Thank you
I
so
love this for
much.
you.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
just just loving this for you. And so I want you to know too that we're so grateful for the economic gifts we've received from everybody on this call. It's really uh it's such a blessing.
It
And
has been.
we are completely grateful.
It's just been full of love and so deep and so such a beautiful support. Really lovely.
Mm.
I'm so grateful for
Yeah,
everybody.
we
Yeah.
feel the same way for
Mhm.
everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
It's it's a place of gift.
It is. Thank goodness.
Mhm.
We're meant to be doing this.
We are.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
There's no question about that, really. and I'm so appreciative how well I just felt supported in my illness,
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know it's wonderful.
hmm hmm
Really.
And then, really being informed in a very clear way that this isn't really sickness, this is clearing. This is clearing for
Yeah. Yeah.
something else to begin to come through.
Yes.
And see, we don't know what that is. And that not knowing is part of the gift itself, is allowing it
Hmm.
to show itself when it's ready, because
Yeah.
there's it's very interesting as our time grows shorter on this earth, the urgency grows less. And that seems like a paradox,
Yeah, right.
mm,
Yeah.
but it
Very
doesn't feel
interesting.
like a paradox
Hmm.
because the quality of the inner feeling is so rich that
There's no mistake.
yeah, life itself feels like a, a reward.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Mm,
Beautiful.
thank you. So, so wonderful. So we have a few minutes to sit some more, or if anybody else wants to speak, we're completely delighted to participate with whatever. Pam, good morning.
Good morning.
Mm.
So this has been really informative for me. Um, One thing that came up while you were speaking at first was that it feels like jumping the gun would be a premature birth, and that this time is for just dating. There is the hibernation thing that Carol was talking about, but there's also something stirring, and I don't know what it is. I don't know how it's going to form. One of the things that has been an obstacle for me is that we live in the country and I don't like to drive to go to a thing, whatever the wonderful thing could be. And so I was open to how I could contribute without having to leave home. And what happened was that for a while now, we've had a handyman helper guy who's a young soul. And his parents died, and he thinks of us as his parents, and that he says, I've got so much to learn, so you can't die yet. And that's been an interesting and rewarding exercise for me because he also tests my patience like a child would. Um, but then there also came um, a massage therapist healer who is living in the guest cottage now. They're both transition, they're both in transition. And um, so supporting them to have a place to be that's safe and loving is what I can do now.
Mm.
That's what I can do now. It doesn't require me to
get in the car and travel into town or anything. And I'm so grateful for that. But I also know that there's more that's brewing, and I am actually open to what it is, finding out what it is. Doing what seems like not enough devotional work, but it is consistent, and I ask for the deepening of it, because at this point I'll be doing my meditation and all these thoughts are still happening, and I say to them, not now, I will deal with you if it's appropriate later. And, just that whole thing, which seems to be happening still, I don't know. Anyway, I don't feel like I'm improving that much, but I am consistent. And I have trust in the universe and the divine that I will be shown. And anyway, so thank you all for this day. And I'm so glad you're back and you look wonderful.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
um,
So, so happy to be with you all.
thank you again.
Mm,
Love you all.
mm, mm. So let's sit together for a few minutes and enjoy the wonderful space. Thank you so much for coming. Such a beautiful day to be with you. Till next time. Bye for now.